Hey, good evening. This is Amos Rogers, character name. Welcome to moving out to Alaska with BattleBots. Um, Long story short, if you watched the last couple videos, I have moved out to the Great Wildlands, which I am deeming as Alaska, and I have learned a ton. Um, had I'm living out here in my rupture. Let's just see here. Long story short, the last video that I had purchased a mobile depot and have been learning how to use it. I'm going to be starting to drop a couple of them all over the systems and moving them about. Nice thing about them is you can move them about, pick them up, drop them other places so that people don't get used to finding them. Um, Couple things about mobile depots. Well, first off, um, today I'm focused on mobile depots. I did a lot of research on my planetary interaction. I've got about 12 days left till I get to Command Centers 5, which is my uh, largest level. I've been testing out a few things on the planets. Made a few mistakes, decent number of mistakes, but I've learned a lot. So when I move my installations, I want to set up some, not the perfect situations, but I want to try to plan it out. So I got about just under 2 weeks till I do that. But I learned some things that might be really helpful. I do need to do a little bit more research. And last but not least, I want to get into the fitting of my rupture. Um, Actually, I'll do that first, the fitting of the rupture. So this is some of the loot that I've gotten currently I'm flying about in the system. I've got local up, nobody else is in the area. Um, and I've just been ratting in different systems that are quiet out here in the Great Wildlands. The thing you've got to be very careful of is um, it's just a rupture, it's just a cruiser. It's not able to take on the big fleets of NPCs that are in the anomalies just yet. I'm getting there. So I'm having to try and test it out with the rats, the NPC characters that are on the gates, because there are no asteroid belts out here. So while you're on a gate, um, anybody can warp in. So you got to be really careful and be ready to roll out if you can. You're going to die at some point. I'm going to get caught at some point. I don't care. I have made well over the amount that I invested in the ship plus some, and I'm having a lot of fun. I like to think of it as active gameplay, whereas the planetary interaction is not inactive gameplay. The nice thing about the planetary interaction is I can set it up. It's making me ISK while I'm at work. So, but every once in a while, when I get a little bit bored of shooting stuff, I can mess around with that for a little while. So I'm liking that. Never been a miner, maybe down the road, but doesn't really interest me a whole lot. I have done a decent number of exploration. I do like that. So, but let's jump into the rupture here. So, um, first off, I am in a system right now. Um, just to give you an idea here, and anybody who's wanting to hunt me down and track me down, trust me, all of these save spots are going to be changed after this video is done. So, and I'll move on to another system. But I just wanted to show an example of what you can do out here to try to stay safe. Um, I'm currently in PUC 5. Let's just see here. Where's my map here? I'm currently down in PUC Tech J7, JZ. And as you can see, like almost every other system in the area, it has no stations. It also doesn't have any NPC station or player-controlled stations that are accessible to me. There is a player-controlled station in NTEC 6 and a player-controlled station in 504 ZTEC V that I can dock to. So what I'm trying to do is set up mobile depots within 5 jumps of either one of these or the stations that are up here. And then as I get more adventurous, I'll go there. But what I can do is I can move from system to system, picking up the junk as I kill things, and then drop them off at the mobile depots. Now, the mobile depots only hold up to 3,000 ISK. I'm not going to be dropping really expensive stuff in there. It's going to be all just the random stuff that most of it I'm going to want to melt down. So even if somebody blows it up, I'm not losing a whole lot. But I can also refit there. So what have I done here? Well, why do I feel so safe? Well, I've made a safe spot. This is my safe spot right here. And this is what I call a safe spot, which is a gate watch. And from this spot, I can scan, descan, and if you hit V, it's your hotkey for it. I can descan both of these gates right here. Okay? And anybody who comes into the system, I'm not on the gates, but I can at least see where they're at. Now, I've also got within range my mobile depot that I have sitting out here. Now I'll just show you a real quick trick here. I'm going to warp to my mobile depot. And there's 3 different ones. There's a safe gate watch. I've got my mobile depot and my safe spot 2. The mobile depot is where obviously the mobile depot is. But the safe spot 2 is my spot that I log out on. If I want to log out in space, I don't log out at the mobile depot. I log out in space. Why? Because somebody could scan down my mobile depot here and wait for me to log in and then blow me up. So I've actually got a second spot out here. And now if these 2 gates weren't so near each other, I'd have a safe spot within 14.3 AU. 14.3 AU. Let's open that up just a little bit here. My directional scan. That's weird that it doesn't go far enough. There we go. So 14.3, that's the largest you can directional scan out. But now that I'm at my mobile tracking unit, obviously I'm within 5,000 meters. If I do a directional scan now, watch. These 2 gates will be gone. The reason why I have it this way is they're over 17.7 away, so my mobile tractor unit is not directly visible when somebody warps into system. I think I talked a little bit about this last time, but I've been really working on this a bit to try to get a plan down. It's not a perfect plan. Anybody can scan this down, but they have to go looking for it. They have to warp to a celestial that is within range of my mobile tractor, my mobile depot, which is not an easy thing to do. A lot of people, I think, would go from gate to gate to gate, doing different things. Well, this is nowhere near any of the gates, so they literally have to go far enough away from the gates, but close enough to my mobile tractor unit to even see that it's there with directional scanning. So it's out of harm's way. Like I said, it'll be moved here shortly. So somebody go search up for this. But, so that is what I like to do with my setup for each system that I'm going to have out here. Down the road, I may actually invest in a station, but I want to get used to living out here. My ultimate goal is to use my planetary interaction out here to then fund some of the larger projects that I'd like to do. Maybe better ships, maybe a station, maybe an orca, something like that. But so I don't know if anybody's this mobile depots are a new thing to me. Basically, to use them, you just approach. I'll go ahead and close out the directional scan because I don't need it anymore, as long as nobody comes in local. The other nice thing about being more than 14.3 AU, when somebody comes into system, even if they're coming for you, you're far enough away that they still have to take time to get to you. So, good. I like to say this at work. As soon as I start assuming something, that's when things go horribly wrong. So I think I'm being really smart about this, and as soon as I do that, I won't be. So, got my mobile tractor unit within 2,500 meters. I'm just going to orbit it to keep moving. I always like to keep, I hate sitting. Then I'm going to open up the cargo. I've already dropped some junk in here. I'm probably going to take this home here soon. Like I said, it's a decent amount of stuff, but it's only worth 3.3 million ISK. So if this was completely filled with the junk that I have, and somebody wants to track it down, they can get 3.3 times 6 times 5, so 15 million ISK of junk. Then they still have to haul 3,000 ISK worth of stuff there, so that's just not worthwhile. So one thing I've started doing, the main reason why I have these out here, and I think I talked a little bit about this last time, was since I don't have a station right nearby, and I am shield tanked, I don't have a way to heal myself if I'm structure damaged or armor damaged. So what I'm going to throw in each one of these mobile depots is just, and I scavenge these off of guys, a armor repairer and a medium structure repairer. And anytime I've gotten low, or gotten hit into those, rather than having to trek my way all the way back over to get myself healed up, I can just come over here, and I'll go ahead and pull up the fitting window. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I do that, the other thing you can do with a mobile depot is you can fit. So I'm going to go ahead and hit right, and then right-click on it, and then use fitting service. Boom. And there is my rupture. Now, to switch out the items on here, it's very simple. Now, I like to drop the items that are currently on the ship into my ship. But I can move anything from here over and from here over. And more importantly, I don't have to wait to bring it online. So I'm going to go ahead and move my warp drive. And I'm going to move my damage control over. And then I'm going to move my armor repair onto the ship. And see how I have insufficient power there to go there, so I need to drop something else off, and I know my shield extender uses a decent amount of power. So I'll drop that off there, and I could have just taken it offline, but we'll see. And at this point, notice here they are fitted, and if I need to use them, I can turn them on. It's freaking awesome. So probably going to be using a lot of mobile depots, setting them out, but putting them in the safe spot so I don't have to track them down as much. And just putting, and I'm basically picking up a decent number of these armor repairs and structure repairs as I'm just killing the NPCs out here. I'm not even having to buy them. So now the other thing that you have to do is you have to wait till they stop running to move them, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it's set to turn off. So once it turns off, and the reason why I put my stuff into my ship here is so that I can just grab it and grab that, and we will drop this back off over into the mobile tractor unit, and we need my shield extender. There it is. And we are ready to roll and ready to rock and roll. It's a nice little way to take a quick break or to heal yourself up. That is a lot less work than flying back to another system. Last but not least, since I've got the fitting window up here, actually there's another thing I want to talk about. Is my ship fit. So as you can see here, I've got a bunch of junk on it. We will go ahead and drop all of this stuff off. Just using the the fusion mediums. So I'm dropping everything else off here. That may change. My next test is coming soon because I don't think I have any in here right now. But I was able to pick up, there's one, a couple of 720 carbine howitzers, a couple of other 720 millimeter guns. They're long-range guns. And I tried fitting them onto the Rupture here. And I didn't have enough power grid. Now I have power grid management level 4, so I can get it up to level 5, but I don't think I would still have enough room. I've also got an aerator on here to speed up my rate of fire. But the biggest thing here is the fact that they just take so much of a requirement to use. Let's just see here. Nope, fitting. Now that is down some. That's 196. Huh. Oh, it's up some because I have the aerator on it. And if you hover over it, it'll tell you. So, projectile weapon rigging is lowered me, whereas projectile burst aerator, oh, my rigging has lowered how bad it is. My base value is 180 for this one. But the fact that I have the aerator on it has increased that. So I tried taking the aerator off of it, and I could barely fit 4 720 guns on here. They are more powerful than the 625. Are these 660s? 650s. They're more powerful. They have more range, but they take more power to fire. So my main problem recently has been that I'm trying to take out larger ships. I'm able to take most of the rats on the gates I can take out, but once I start going into the anomalies, I'm having a bit of a problem. I still have a lot of skilling that I can do up. Currently, I have just level 3 of medium projectile turret, so that'll go up in 2 hours, and I can keep that going. I can also increase my rate of fire. A lot of different things that I can do. Let's see here, guns. But I also want to get those 4 guns on here. So the other, and what that does for me is it allows me to stay a long distance away from the guys. And one thing that I didn't think about before this happened was when I warp in, there is an amount of time to close distance between myself and the rats. If you're firing a longer range, you don't have to worry about that distance, so you can get on top of them quicker. It's all about how you want to do it. My second option, and just to give you an idea here, is to use machine guns or the blasters. Those are short-range guns, and they actually do more damage. So, and they actually take less power grid, but you have to get up in close, and so you're able to do more damage on them, but you actually have to be in a more dangerous situation with them. So you've got to work on your tank and that sort of thing. And just to give you an example here, in a quick way I've figured to test which is more powerful, because they are a different type of gun. Let me lower this a little bit. Just pull up the attributes here. Turret attributes. There we go. All right. So the 2 things that I look for are the damage modifier. The higher the damage modifier, the more damage you do. And then the rate of fire. The long-range guns do more damage per shot, but they take longer to fire. So the question is, by rate of speed, do the short-range guns do more damage? And the way to figure that out is to just do a quick calculation. This is math that I never thought I would use again after I got out of high school. But, so we'll just drop that here. No, 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 no. Come here. Okay. So, still got my local up. That's all that matters. So the big thing here is to take your damage modifier, and that is 3.17 for the machine guns, 3.176, and divide it by your rate of fire, 5.46. That gives me a total of 0.581. Now, to figure out if you're doing more damage with your long range, you do the exact same thing. There we go. I already had it up. And come in here. Remember, 58.581. Damage modifier is 8.37. And then I divide that by, now the rate of fire on this is 18 seconds. 18 seconds. 0.465. So, I'm actually doing more damage with the short range guns overall by about 20%. 0.58, maybe if I'm using the percentage numbers correctly. That's a pretty hefty difference. Why did I do it through here? I mean, why did I do it through not just looking at it and taking a quick glance? Because if you notice here, these are your base amounts. But if I pull up my guns here, show info, see how it changes? Turret tracking, rate of fire went down, you know, damage modifier goes up, you know, because of my skills. So you don't want to just use the base amount because some of the skills might work better versus blasters and long range artillery. That's the word I've been looking for the whole time. You want to see what you're best at and to fit the strategy that you're trying to do. That's what I've been toying with lately. It's a lot of fun. I think this is where people really get into fitting. And then how you plan out what you want to do in the future. So that's what I've been doing right now. I'll be interested to come back again a month or two from now and see how much more I've learned and laugh at what I'm talking about right now because I'm probably making some mistakes. But if anybody's got some ideas, let me know. Last but not least, so I've got about 12 days till I get my planetary interaction command centers up and running for this character, or till they get fifth level. My other character that's on this account, I have about 15 days till they get to level 5, but I'm not going to bring them out here. This is the last thing I want to talk about because this is kind of the fun part. Where did I put my map there? There we go. So I'm going to pull Eve over here. Wait. Oh yeah, I should be fine. And I'm going to put the map back over here. The only reason I'm putting it over here is so I can still keep an eye on local. Always keep an eye on local. Once you spend so much time out in null, when you fly back into high sec and you see 15 people in system, it will scare the bejesus out of you. It still does. Every time I take stuff to market, I'm like, whoa, there's so many people. Who is this guy who's trying to kill me? And I use that voice. Okay, so this character I'm going to leave out here because it's kind of fun. The other character that I don't have a third character. What I want to do is have 3 characters focused on trying out every type of ship to man in every type of area in nullsec, NPC nullsec if I can do it. And what I've been able to figure out is up here in Syndicate is NPC nullsec. Now, I've just been looking around at it. I think I flew through once or twice a long time ago. There are a lot more stations, but this is all NPC controlled. So it's not territories per se that are owned by people. There are people that live in these areas, but they don't own the stations that are there. So you can always dock up. So what I want to do is take my second character, once it's got its planetary interaction up and running, and move it out here to live. And there I'll try out hybrid turrets, because this is Galente space. It's owned by, and there I can mess around with both Galente and Caldari ships. And so if the Great Wildlands have gotten a little bit stale, or if I'm having problems out there, if somebody's bothering me, I just switch characters over and switch over here and do the same thing and have just as much fun and learn some more things. I may have to adjust my plans depending on, I'm assuming there's going to be a lot more people flying around out here, just because there's more stations and it's a little bit more of on the beaten path, but don't know. So that'll be something to look forward to in the next couple of weeks. And last but not least, that leaves me a third slot. And this is way down the road. And what I was thinking of was, I think it's Stain down here. Stain is also NPC stations. It's going to be a long time before I even bother with this. I'll probably know a lot more of how to play. But it's all owned by the Sanchez Nation, if I'm not mistaken. And let me just, sovereignty, second, yeah. So everything here is owned by the Sanchez, so you can kind of do the same thing. Has about, whereas the Great Wildlands has very few stations, Syndicate seems to have a decent number, and then this is kind of like, it seems like a happy medium out here. The one thing I am noticing here is there's not a whole lot of jump clone stations. There's only a couple. Actually, that's research. What is the jump clone? Green. So yeah, there's one jump clone spot there. That's it. Oh, and a couple down here. But wow, that is a weird area down there. Maybe I'll just scout out there sometime, do a video on that. And there's one right there. But not a whole lot. Oh, there's another one. Okay, there's a few of them out there, but they're not a whole lot, okay? So that's my third goal, but that's not for a couple months, because even then, I would have to set that character up with the planetary interaction. Why am I so focused on my planetary interaction? Well, like I said, it makes money on the side. I can set it up to run where I only pick up the items once a week or once every 2 weeks, keep things going. Or even longer than that, depending on how it's set up, I think. But I can just make some money off the side and not have to fight it. And where did I put it here? Even at a command center level 4, yesterday, I think it was in this notepad here. There it is. I was able to average about 2.5 million ISK per planet that I was doing. I'm doing 3 planets. I was able to average 2.5 million ISK. So again, we go to our handy dandy calculator. 2.5 times, and I'm only doing 3 planets right now as I skill up, but once I get to level 5, then I also increase my interplanetary. You can do up to 6 planets, so that's 6 planets. This is level 4. It's not even level 5. So even at level 4 command centers, I can do 15 million ISK per character per day times 3. 45 million ISK per character per day times 30. That is 1.3 billion ISK a month of just letting the systems run themselves. Now you have to tweak them and keep them going. You have to set them up right. but that is level 4. So even level 5, I might be able to get more. Now you still have to get the stuff. You still need to haul it. You still need to know what you're doing. You need to find somebody to buy it for you. You've got to pick the right items. But that's the fun part. You know, you can just tinker with it, like Farmville in space. So last but not least, actually, we're going to leave this over here. Sorry, this is a non-blow 'em up episode. Next episode, I will go out and blow some stuff up. What I'm doing is I'm actually biding time until my projectile turrets goes up for 2 hours. Then it goes up when I can test out some more stuff. But one thing that I did find, this is a great little site, and I'm sure there's other ones that are out there. But if I remember correctly, it was the Planetary Interaction Guide, EVE Online Guide. This is guy built this. A lot of different information here. But as I scrolled down here, I found right here is a list of all of the raw materials, process materials, different things like that. I'm sure somebody's made up systems, spreadsheets, maybe even program something that does this, but I like to do things by hand, as you can see by my notepads. And I noticed a couple of different things. Going through, and this is your rawest of materials, what you take off the planet. And if you look here, autotrophs, which are made into industrial fibers, are only found on temperate planets. Scroll on down. Felsic magma, silicon, are only found on lava planets. Keep on scrolling. Reactive gases are only found on gas planets. So those 3 types of planets are not the most rare planets, but they are middle of the road rare. You'll see them. So in a perfect world for me, what I would want to do is find a system that has a gas, a temperate, and a lava planet with low tax rates on their customs offices. And then take those items, and almost every system has a barren planet, I'm assuming. Use the barren planet to then create level 3 and level 4 if I want to way down the road. But this is a really quick way to make some ISK to do stuff. So that's kind of my long-term plans. I've still got plenty of time to work on it. I do need to check pricing and see, but this is a really great site if you ever want to check it out. It's thonky.com/eve-online-guide, planetary interaction. And there's some other stuff here really haven't looked at, so I may check it out a little bit more. Mining and industry, agent standing. I haven't read all of this. I just went straight in for that. So, but that's basically where I stand there on that one. Okay. Last but not least, let's go ahead and see how much time we got left. We're at 33 minutes. So I was going to go blow something up, but I'm not going to. I want to end the video here. I may do one either later on tonight or probably tomorrow where I just blow as much stuff up and see how much money I can make. Alrighty. You guys have a nice night. Let's just take a quick gander here. I want to write this down because I am going to be going up on projectile turret. So I want to see as of 4:26 at 5 p.m. My damage per second is at 184.1. My projectile turrets go up. Medium projectile turrets in 2 hours and 4 minutes. So I want to see what the change is there. And that was at 5 p.m. Then I might throw in a rate of fire or a surgical strike or something else like that to see if I can bump that up before I do my next video to show a difference in the two. The biggest thing there is all of your NPCs that I'm able to kill right now are on gates. And the faster that I can kill the NPCs, the faster I can get off those gates. So, but it is living out here. It's like hunting right outside of a bear cave, but you don't know if the bear's in there or not. But but it is a lot of fun. So active gameplay. Love it. You guys have a great night. Fly safe, fly dangerously, fly however the heck you want. Have a good one.